So if you're watching this video, you're currently probably working in a 9 to 5 or some kind of job. You maybe are running a business or you're in school, or you've got some reason why you can't currently commit full time to the high ticket sales space, which is a very common problem. This is a very common question that I get, which is, essentially how do I transition into the high ticket sales space when I need to continue working my current job, or I need to stay in school or whatever until I prove it to myself that I can be full time in this position. Now, it's a very common position to be in. So I don't blame you at all for maybe having doubts about committing full time and betting on yourself. I know personally, if I was back in my shoes when I first got into this space, I'd be feeling a very similar way. And so I completely understand it. And this is the recommended guide for that transition. Now, some people can just go, you know what, I'm going to commit full time. I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to go all into high ticket sales and I'm going to figure it out and make it work. Great mindset to have. If that's not you, totally fine. This video is for you. I'm going to go over these kind of 6 steps here and tell you exactly what you need to know and exactly how you should frame yourself to businesses to land a role in the space, regardless of the fact that you're still working your 9 to 5, whatever that 9 to 5 may be. Might not be a 9 to 5, might be something else. But so first and foremost, everyone that asked me this question, before they actually asked me the question at hand, which is how do I still land a role regardless of the fact I've got this existing commitment, ask me, how do I land a part-time role? And I always ask them, why do you need to land a part-time role? They need to land a part-time role because they have this existing commitment and can't land a full-time role. Wrong. You can 100% land a role with a business that's looking for a full-time rep. You just need to come into this application, come into these interviews and land the role from the frame of long-term thinking, full-time thinking, right? Now, what I mean by that is you don't need a part-time role. You need a full-time role. Your intention should be, if you're trying to break into this space, to go and be with a business long-term in a full-time position. It shouldn't be to be part-time. Now, if your goal is just to land a part-time role, this video isn't for you. It's not going to be applicable. But if you are looking to be long-term in the space and land a full-time role, despite the fact that you currently have a 9 to 5, these kind of next couple of steps are going to break down exactly how to do that. Now, first and foremost, you want to tell businesses what they want to hear, right? You don't want to tell them the truth, which is I currently am doing this, I can't be full-time, until it's absolutely necessary. And we'll get into when that is. But essentially, when it's not necessary is in your Loom video, in your application, in your outreach to businesses, in the front 80 to 90% of the interview process. You do not want to mention, I'm currently working a job, I'm currently running a business, I'm currently in school. You don't want to mention anything the business could view as a red flag. All of these things, any pre-existing commitment is a red flag to businesses. Now, it doesn't matter that it's technically illegal in this space for businesses to require a 1099 high ticket remote closer to be full-time. It's not legal technically, but all of these businesses will do that. It's just how the space is. Unfortunately, we've got to deal with the cards that we're dealt. But regardless of that fact, right, you want to tell businesses what they want to hear, which is, hey, I'm going to be full-time. My intention is to be here long-term, and it is to be a full-time rep on the team. Tell them what they want to hear, not that you're currently doing all of this. Now, the reason that we do this is because you want to give yourself the best chance possible, not just the chance, the best chance to move to the next stage. Now, this landing roles process as a whole, right? Loom videos, applications, resumes, outreach, interviews, mock calls, role plays, all of this stuff. The one goal of each of these parts of the process is to give yourself the best chance to move on to the next stage. Your Loom video, your job is to get to the interview. It's not to land the role. It's not to be 100% open and honest with the business about your whole life story and exactly who you are and what you've done and everything like that. It's to show the business, why should I interview you, right? The interview, typically that first round interview, your goal is to move to the second round interview. Your goal isn't to land the role. Your goal is to show them, I'm the right guy. You should give me a one-on-one interview. We should be face-to-face, and you should, figure out that I'm the right guy for the role and that you should hire me, right? That's the goal. The second stage interview, sometimes the first stage interview, your goal is to land the role, right? That's the last part of the interview process. Now, that part is where we want to, and I'll get into this, frame it as a positive for them, that you can't be full-time. We don't want to talk about the fact that we can't be full-time at any point in the front end of the process, because our intention is to be full-time, which means I'm applying as a full-time rep. When you come into these applications, you apply as someone who's looking to be full-time. You apply for full-time, high-ticket closing, high-ticket setting positions, because that is the intention and that is the goal. Now, what we do is at the back end of the interview process, once we've landed the role, once we've given ourselves the best chance to get onto the next stage, the final stage, which is landing the role, that's when we open up the doors, we become fully transparent and honest, because they're going to ask you, when can you start? What hours are you looking to work? And you're going to have to tell them, I can't be full-time just yet. I'm currently doing XYZ. I do want to be full-time eventually. Here's the deal, right? That's the one point where we speak about this. Now, I'm not telling you at all to be deceitful. Don't tell businesses, yeah, I'm full-time. If they ask you a question and they ask, are you currently working in a job? Are you currently studying? Are you currently doing anything else? If you are, don't tell them no, right? If it has to be answered, you answer the question. Ideally, you don't want to bring it up yourself. That's all I'm saying. So don't bring it up yourself, but if the question is asked, answer it truthfully. Ideally, it's not, and we can just bring it up at the end of the process and then frame it as a positive for them. So what I mean by this is when you get to the end of the interview and they're like, in my case, Jackson, we love you, we want to hire you, we want to bring you on. When can you start? What kind of hours are you looking to do when you start, right? The way that I answer that question isn't, sorry, I can't be full-time. I'm currently doing this. So I hopefully you can still hire me and bring me on, right? That's not how we want to do it. We want to frame it like this, right? Yeah, John, absolutely. I love what you guys are doing. I love XYZ things you mentioned in the interview process. I want to come on full-time and absolutely crush it for you guys. Right now, I'm transitioning out of XYZ thing I'm doing, right? And I'm looking to be full-time with you. Now, in that period, it's probably going to be around X amount of time, right? However long it's going to take you to either genuinely transition out of whatever it is you're currently doing because you're in that process already, or convince yourself that this opportunity is the right vehicle and that you will go full-time, quit whatever it is you're previously doing and actually transition out of it. That's the time frame we give them, right? I'm currently actively transitioning out of my previous role. I'm looking to be full-time with you guys. That transition period is going to be about, in this case, right, let's say I feel like I need 3 weeks to prove to myself that I can close enough deals, make enough money to pay my bills and quit my 9-to-5 that's currently paying my bills. And then I need to give a week's notice. I'm going to tell them 4 weeks, right? 3 weeks to prove to myself this is the right offer. 1 week of notice to the business before I fully transition out. So I'm going to tell them the transitionary period is looking to be about 4 weeks. However, right? Before they say anything, before they say, sorry, we're looking for someone full time. However, I'm interested. I want to hear what Jackson's going to say next. I really want to prove to you guys that I am the right fit for this role anyway, regardless of the transition or anything else. I want to prove to you guys that I can be the top closer or the top setter on the team. So I would love to come in and work X schedule, right? This is going to depend. Maybe you can work full-time, but only in the evenings. Maybe you've only got 2 or 3 hours a day. Maybe you've only got 5 hours a day, whatever it is. I want to come in and work my available time, which currently is about 4 hours a day, right? Part-time in the afternoon, and prove to you guys that I actually deserve this role and that I am the best choice moving forwards. Rather than you guys committing full-time to me already, right? Frame it as a positive for them rather than you guys committing to me, not rather than me committing to you guys, which is typically going to be the reality is, hey, I don't want to commit to you guys full-time until I know I can make enough money here. I don't want you guys to commit full-time to me before you know that I'm going to absolutely crush it in this role, right? I don't want you guys to drop a bunch of money on ad spend and filling up my calendar as a closer, or on ad spend and filling up the pipeline full of leads as a setter, right? Before you know that I can crush it in this role. So I want to come in and work 4 hours a day, crush these deals, crush these leads, right? And show you guys that I deserve a full-time calendar and full-time slot in the team. So is it okay if over the next 4 months, I wouldn't say it like that. I wouldn't say, is it okay? I'd say, I'd love to come in for the next 4 weeks and work part-time 4 hours a day, show you guys that I'm worth it. And then after that transitionary period is over, come full-time with you, given you believe that I'm still able to crush the role once you've seen me in action, right? That way, we frame it all as a positive for the business. I want to prove to you guys I'm the best man for the job. I want to show you guys what I'm about in this transitionary period. I don't want you guys to commit full time to me until you know it's the right move. And then the business looks at it as, this is a win-win, this is a positive. And then now that they know that you've got this red flag, or what would have been a red flag at the front end of the process if I mentioned it in my Loom video, or if I mention it at the start of the interview, because what will happen in either of those two processes, if I mention it in my application, they're going to immediately look at it as Jackson isn't fully committed, Jackson isn't looking to go full time with us, we're not even interested, we won't interview him, right? If I mention it in the front end of the interview, maybe they'll go through the rest of the interview, but everything else is going to be, I don't know what the opposite of rose tinted glasses is, but it's going to be that. They're going to be looking at it with fire tinted glasses of, this guy sucks, this guy isn't fully committed, we're not interested, right? That's the way they're going to look at all of your answers to their interview questions if you mentioned in the front end of the interview. But instead of that, instead of them going into red flag mode, they're going to go into this problem solving mode of, okay, Jackson can only come on part-time. Maybe the reason they're hiring is because they've got a big inflow of leads, and they're going to figure out, how do we solve this problem? How do we make sure that we make it work? We make sure we still bring on this killer sales rep in Jackson who we love and we think is the right fit for the role, and still make the most of this lead flow that we're getting in currently, because we do need a full-time setter on the team, but Jackson can only work part-time, so we're going to need to maybe bring someone else in, or maybe going to lower ad spend, or we're maybe going to do something different, whatever it is, right? They're going to problem solve that rather than look at it as, okay, we're not interested, this guy isn't full-time, right? Because you've given yourself the best chance throughout that interview, or the first half of the second round interview, to show this business, hey, I'm the guy for the job. I'm the best fit for this role. I'm going to absolutely crush it. And then we've shown them that in that interview process, and then they know that we're the right guy for the role, and they need to hire us. And it's just a matter of solving the problem of, this person can't be full-time right now. So that's my recommended strategy, how to land a role while you're still working your 9 to 5. If you've got any questions at all about this, let me know. Otherwise, check out the rest of the videos on my channel going over everything to do with landing roles. Hopefully drop a subscribe. Otherwise, appreciate you watching. Cheers.